Or
So, Doug, the first question I have for you is that this was your second time taking on Mount Kilimanjaro. What was the difference this time round?
different kind of group, different place in life. The first time was 7 years ago. I was running marathons all over the world, one right after another, within weeks of each other. Definitely fitter, and I was with a bunch of other marathoners. And so, while it was never said it was a competition, I was set on getting to the top first. And we took an easier route. We went up fast, uh, by Kili standards. This time, harder route, more scenic route with folks who maybe endurance isn't their livelihood. And even though it is still kind of mine, I'm not running marathons, so my fitness level was adequate, but not the same. And I'm 7 years older. So it felt more of a struggle. I think I also had some shared pain. Others were struggling. And so I kind of was in that mindset. But gosh, was it beautiful. It was prettier. This route, the Ronge route, was just a phenomenal choice. And being able to go to Mwanzi first and then over to Kibo Peak was brilliant. I loved it. I One of the best pictures I took the first time was the sunrise right behind Mwanzi, but actually being on it and then seeing it as the sunrise was a whole different sensation. And so I just enjoyed the people. I enjoyed the concept. The trekking crew, Asante Tour, was just phenomenal. I can't say enough about Jimmy and his crew because they were the right pick.
And that actually leads into my next question. Just as you were talking about Jimmy there and how he lives for it and breathes Kilimanjaro, my next question for you is what does Mount Kilimanjaro mean to you?
Magic. There's several places on Earth that I just resonate with me. Cusco, Peru, which is the leadoff city to go to the Inca Trail. Connection to my grandfather there. But Kilimanjaro, just since a kid, it's one of the things I talk with other folks I coach. How do I get started? Go back to your childhood. Go back to your childhood and think of the places you wanted to go and the things you wanted to do when you were a kid and start there. It may not be what you end up doing. It may take on a different look, but start there. And Kilimanjaro is one of those places for me. Ernest Hemingway's The Snows of Kilimanjaro, and just I don't remember anything about the book, but I remember that it put in my head that that's a place you should want to go. And there's so many things about that mountain. Highest mountain in Africa, highest mountain closest to the equator. It's 5 different zones of environment. 7 different routes from every direction up it. Highest freestanding mountain in the world, biggest volcano in the. There's so many things that you can say about it that are statistical, but once you climbed it and it becomes part of you and you feel like it's part of you and you're part of it, it just stays with you. Ricky said something about standing on Everest and realizing at that point in time he was the highest person on the planet. Well, when you're standing on Kilimanjaro, you're the highest person in all of Africa, and you feel like you can see all of Africa. And Gilman's point, isn't the highest point, but it's where you reach the ridge. So you're on the mountain. You look back and you can see a little bit of the curvature of the earth. And it's all you flat earthers, go climb Kilimanjaro and tell me the earth is flat. But the whole horizon is just lit up and it's on fire, but it just is constantly changing. And the sunrise lasts like 30-40 minutes before the sun ever breaks the horizon. So it's all these different, first it's red and then it's orange and then the yellows, and Mwanzi starts to silhouette and you realize you were over there, now you're here. And so it all comes back to that word, magical. It's just a place that you forget the rest of your life, good or bad, and you're just there and you're in the moment and you're one with the mountain. And, I know you're not supposed to, but I brought a piece back. So now the mountain's always with me. So it's just a magical, special place.
So, Doug, the third question I have for you is you have been somebody who has observed, the work of Stevie Kidd, and now a team member of the Stevie Kidd pathway, coaching some of our clients in the world of endurance. There we go. But the question I've got for you is, does Stevie constantly work with the delegates on a personal level during the entire event? So what do I mean by that? The event's not just about reaching the summit, is it?
No, there's so much. It's a journey. I mean, it's a physical journey up the mountain, but it's a personal journey of discovery and getting out of your own way. And every, I think Stevie, not only the eight of us, other than himself, nine including himself, but the eight of us he spent time with, but the porters, the guides, the cook, the everything. I mean, he just went out of his way as usual, which of course he doesn't see it out of his way, he sees it as his way, but he just made a point of touching everyone and sharing his energy in a way that, God, I've never met anyone like the guy who on a stretcher on the way down a mountain stops to have a selfie that's perfectly framed with the 4 or 5 people and the mountain behind you, and then has video of the trek down. Why? Because that's an experience that somebody might have, and he shows that it doesn't have to be negative. He's always positive. He always has a way of looking at things that make it part of your experience and you'll learn from. And everybody in our crew, and I'm pretty sure other crews in the camps with us from other trekking companies, were touched some way or recognize that this guy's different. This guy has an energy. This guy is undefeated, unstoppable, just a force of nature. Okay.
Doug, the final question that I've got for you today in today's interview is, how do you sum up what Stevie Kidd is doing with our clients and taking them through the pathway and sequel of events, especially with someone like yourself who's now part of the team and is coaching some of our clients and helping them along the way in their endurance journey?
If I had to sum it in one word, it would be transformational. It transforms your life. The same components are there in your life, your business or job, your family, your friends, but your life is suddenly different. It feels different. I look at somebody like Peter, who's now the first person to do the second event, the first international event in Kilimanjaro. So he's done Reach Your Peak Scotland, he's done Reach Your Peak Kilimanjaro, and he's just a different guy. He's chipper and positive, and his business is taken off, and and he can't wait to get up in the morning and go do things, and his beautiful family and great business. So why is that? He had that same family, he had that same business, but the Stevie Kidd pathway transformed that guy's outlook on those things to be able to achieve so much more. And so again, transformational. It's just a phenomenal approach. It's like nothing else I've found in the world that I've looked for endurance. I've looked for those kind of things. And I've found nothing that does what this does. And God bless Stevie Kidd for thinking of it and making it a reality.
Doug, what do you think your message would be to anyone who is thinking of signing up to the pathway and its events? So what would the benefits be for somebody to do that?
My message would be, don't wait. Do it right now. Do not hesitate. Don't think it through. Don't think about it. Just do it, because that's what it really is. The pathway is a way to action in your life. It is to make your life more meaningful, more productive, more action oriented, doing, being, enjoying. So my message is, do it right now. You may not think you want to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. You may think you may not want to be at the top of Ben Nevis. You may think you don't want to be at the, but sign up anyway, because Stevie and the pathway, along with Ryan and all the different people, Jim Fairborn, who's now done the Kilimanjaro, Corin Hutton, who's been at the top of Kilimanjaro, Ricky Monday, who's been at the top of Kilimanjaro, you will be transformed. Your business, your family, your life can't help but change when you sign up for the Stevie Kid pathway. That would be my message.